You know something? We haven't done a stove review in quite a while, so let's do one today. Alright guys, so you know I've done plenty of stove reviews. I've done all different types of stoves, from gas canister stoves, alcohol stoves, and my favorite being bio stoves or wood burning stoves. I live next to lots of woods, and there's woods all over Michigan, so finding things to burn in a bio stove is very, very easy for me, and it's one of my favorite methods of using a little stove. What's great about bio stoves is you don't have all the extra parts. You don't have the gas canisters, you don't have the alcohol containers. You just simply have the stove, and they generally will fold down nice and flat, and you can stick them right in your pack and they take up no room. A lot of times I'm in areas where I can't light a fire on the ground, but I can use a small stove, so they come in handy for that as well. Now there's several different sizes of bio stoves that I've shown you, from the larger Firebox and Bushbox XL, heavy duty stoves that'll hold heavy duty containers, and they're great for when you're with several different people or you want to have a fire that lasts a long time. There's smaller stoves like the smaller Bushbox, but generally I like a medium sized stove like the Emberlit. I've used gasifier stoves such as the Silverfire Scout and the Solo Stove, and those are great because they nest down into the container. So if you want to take a container with you and nest a stove in it, those are worth a look for sure. But generally I'll carry a stove such as the Emberlit. You've seen me use that a lot in a lot of my different videos, and today's stove is really similar to that. It's less expensive and lighter weight, so we're going to see if it'll work just as well. So this is the Paleo Stove. You can see it packs down very small, it's very lightweight, and comes with this cotton stuff sack to keep it in so you don't dirty up the rest of your pack after you're done using it. This can also be useful for making char cloth, so it is a multi-purpose item. It's also got nice cotton cordage on it, again, that you could char up and use if you needed to. The Paleo Stove is very minimal in design, and they created it that way. There's no hinges or extra parts like crossbars or anything like that. And when it's folded down or packed down, it's no more than the thickness of a nickel. The Paleo Stove is made in the USA by a small company just getting started, so I think that that's awesome as well. And it looks to be a very durable product, made out of stainless steel. And like I said, there's 3 sides as opposed to other stoves such as the Emberlit that have 4, giving it that lighter weight of just over 8 ounces as opposed to just over 11 ounces. It's very simple to put together. You just slide all the ends together. Very, very simple design. And the stove is fully constructed. You can see it's a triangular shape, so you can set even small pots on the side or on the top, and you don't have the need for crossbars. Now it's an updraft design. It doesn't have an ash pan, so that's one less part you're gonna have to clean, but we'll have to see if it does just just as good of a job. This reminds me of the ultralight Bushbox. That was a triangular design as well. It was about half this height, and what I didn't like about that was because of the triangular design, I had a hard time keeping it fed enough with wood because of the limitation of these back walls coming together instead of having it square where you can feed more wood on the inside. Bio stoves are perfect for day hikes, and when I'm walking through the woods and I know I'm going to be using one, I'm always on the lookout for good tinder, such as this cedar bark. So here is the Paleo Stove all assembled. You can see it's a triangular design. Now I didn't use a knife at all to collect my tinder. I simply got some cedar bark here, which I made some fine dust with and fluffed it up real good. And then I have some medium, some large, and some really small sticks from a cedar tree. All dead, all collected off the ground, no knife, no saw. So we're gonna see if we can get this fire started with just a spark. So first what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of these small sticks and just make a base in the bottom there for my cedar bark so it doesn't hit the wet ground, because it'll immediately soak up any moisture. You notice the air holes are very low on this stove, and there's no ash pan, so it's going to be interesting to see if it creates enough updraft and how long you can burn with it without having to, move it or empty out the ash. So I'm just going to throw the cedar right on the top there. Dump in the rest of this shavings. And then I'm going to take some of these really small sticks, really small cedar sticks, and sort of just tripod them on the top here. And then once those get going, I'll add some larger wood to it. So I can already tell you it's updrafting like crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and just keep feeding this and get some coals on the bottom, and so I can feed some larger wood into the bottom here. So now that she's going pretty well, got some coals down in there, I'm just gonna try to put some sticks in the opening here. Now this was my only concern, being from the other triangular stove that I've used, that you could get the wood far enough in there for it to really work. Seems like it's doing okay. So I'm gonna put 2 cups of water on there and we'll see how long it takes to boil. Nice and sturdy. Throw the cap on there. Well, so far I'm really impressed at how efficiently it's burning. It's been almost 3 minutes now. And then when these start to burn up, you just kind of scoot them on in. The updraft is working great. So with all stoves like this, I'll generally just take a little stick and every now and then just kind of poke into the vent holes in the side, just so they're not clogged up. And that'll keep your fire nice and hot and keep that updraft going. Just move these in here. So if you get too much wood in there and you see that your fire starts to die out, this one's going really well, but you can also sort of lift up and give yourself some more air in the front there, and that'll really get it going. Alright, so I'm pretty sure we have a rolling boil now. Yep, rolling, and that took 10 minutes. So not bad considering it's a bio stove. I'm having trouble keeping it burning really hot, and that's because the air holes on the side are getting quickly plugged with ash. If I hold up the wood in the front here, you can see it burns like crazy because it's getting more air underneath there. So let's try a larger pot. I'm gonna put the rest of this water in here. I put about 16 ounces in the first, and I'm gonna put 16 ounces in this one. A little bit larger pot. You can see it's still very stable. So I'm not going to clean out any of the ash. I'm just going to keep burning here and see what happens. Just throw the lid on, and I'm just going to keep feeding in wood. So you can see here on the side what I mean about these holes. They just get plugged up with ash. So generally I'll just take a stick and kind of just make a little breathing hole there. But you can see that I'm getting a pile of ash on the bottom here, and so I really have to lift up this wood in the front to keep it burning nice and hot. One of the drawbacks of not having an ash pan that you can just pull out and dump. Alright, so I'm pretty sure we have a rolling boil now on this one. Just about. So that took about 12 minutes. Took a little bit longer with the larger pot, but it is rolling now. So when I'm done, I just take all the wood from the front and stick it in the top of the stove and just let it burn all the way down. So as you can see, I got this stove really hot. There's a really hot ash bed there, and I'm not seeing any warping at all, at least when it's put together. We'll see when I take it apart. But the cool thing is that I can just take a stick and I can just kind of knock this over, and the ashes will just fall out and the stove will cool down. Okay, so what do I like about the Paleo stove? I love that it's very lightweight and it packs down really small. You can see that it didn't warp at all, maybe just a little bit, but that's absolutely normal for a stainless steel stove. It doesn't warp out of shape or anything like that. It's very easy to put together and it's very sturdy, so I like that. Had an easy time lighting it, and I didn't find the same problem with this one being triangular that I did with the other triangular stove that I used. It worked well. It boiled water within 10 minutes, and you know, it's pretty windy and stuff out here, and I did have a hard time keeping it really hot, keeping the temperature up, and I found that with some other stoves as well. But it would be nice maybe if they put these holes a little bit higher up so that they aren't immediately blocked out with your first level of ash. On the front of the stove, I can understand why the holes are lower, obviously because you're going to feed your wood in the main hole here, but maybe on the two side walls they could put the holes up a little bit higher, and that might help force more air into there and create that updraft. As with most bio stoves, it burns really well when there's nothing on the top, but when you set a pot on the top, you tend to lose that updraft. Another thing I like is the price. It's 49 bucks, so it's about $10 or $20 cheaper than something that's similar, and this is lighter weight. I like that it comes with that cotton stuff sack, so when it's dirty like this, you can just stick it into the cotton stuff sack and it's not going to get the rest of your pack dirty. So I'm going to put some links below to Paleo Stove's website where you can find out more information about the Paleo Stove, and I'm also going to put some links below to where you can purchase this stove on Amazon. Anything you purchase through my Amazon link does help support the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I hope you give it a big thumbs up for me. Leave me some comments below about what you think about the Paleo Stove, and share it to your friends and family who might be interested on social media, Google+, Facebook, and Twitter. If you guys want to give me a like or a follow on Google+, Facebook, or Twitter, my links are below. Just click Show More to see the description. As always, if you haven't clicked that red subscribe button, make sure you do so to subscribe for more videos.